What's up, guys? It's Uncle Freedom coming to you on another glorious and well-deserved day off. Any of this stuff sound familiar to you? Well, I know whose house I'm coming to when the shit hits the fan. It's okay. I'll just get it on a battlefield pickup. There'll be plenty laying around. I'm just going to hunt and live off the land. Today we're going to look at my top 10 fallacies that exist within the preparedness community and some uncomfortable truths surrounding some of those things. So if that sounds fun and interesting to you and you just want to tell me how fucking wrong I am, that's cool too. Go ahead and like, subscribe, tell a friend, because this one's going to be fun. I say these truths that we hear when we talk to people, right? Like you'll have people that'll tell you, it's all right, man. If the time came, be plenty laying around. I choose 5.56 because that stuff will be everywhere in a collapse. I'm going to just bug out to the woods and I'm going to hunt and live off the land. I know I'm coming to your house. Don't come to my house. That's a bad idea, bro. I didn't invite you. Don't show up. But that's the stuff we hear in the preparedness community. It's not wrong. It's not being educated or not thinking through the situation. I don't want to call anybody ignorant, because here's the reality of it. If you're preparing, you're far ahead of most of the population. But some of your beliefs could be a little misplaced. And we'll look into my top 10 of why. The first one is, I have a medical kit. I'm good. I watched a bunch of you. I'm first aid certified. The first one's going to be, reality of that is, people are going to die. And your med kit is not always going to save you. It's great. You stop the bleed. But if we're talking about an entire, social collapse, do you have a doctor close by? People die from infections all the time. And the uncomfortable truth of the matter is, if you really think about it, if you're insulin-dependent diabetic and the power's gone, your days are numbered. You require insulin to survive every day. And the sad part is, that's not just adults. That can even be children. Again, uncomfortable truth. But what are you going to do? You don't have a solution for that. The manufacturing of insulin's gone. If that's where we're at in the world, your days are numbered. You're not going to make it. I'm sorry. Little things like the common cold, people having abscessed teeth, stuff like that, those are going to wipe people out and kill them. And the most prepared individual on the planet that didn't take care of his health problems before it went down is going to be the most effective loot drop known to man, because he's not going to make it. Let's be real about it. That's uncomfortable truth number one. Number two, for me, is that I've got all my stuff. I'm good to go. Food, water, shelter. Okay, that's great. But look at the pillars of this, man. Food, water, shelter, defense, and community. There is no such thing as a lone wolf. You're not going to run through the badlands of North America on horseback, surviving and thriving without being pretty much wiped off the planet. You have to have more people to survive. And if you have a MAG, a mutual assistance group, fantastic. Good for you. That's awesome. And I think everybody should be working towards that. Maybe you're ultra prepared by yourself, but if you're alone, you're an island. You're a very vulnerable island. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay up all night on guard shift to protect yourself? What's the plan there? That's a fallacy. You're not going to be a lone wolf prepper. It's just not going to happen. The third one is, I have 900,000 guns. I'm good to go. Okay. How much water do you got? You have food? Do you have sustainment protocols for food? Do you have the ability to either plant more, make seeds, make something self-sustaining? Do you know about the Three Sisters deal for planting crops? Do you have the ability to preserve meat, game, if you do get to kill something? Do you have the ability to fix your preps? Do you have the ability to maintain your location? Do you have can you fix that? Do you have building supplies? Do you have stuff to maintain things like water cells? Cool, you've got solar power. What's your option if this goes longer and those batteries go bad, because they will go bad? What's your plan then? Do you have the ability or the parts or the knowledge, the know-how to fix those things? Just because you bought them once doesn't mean it's over. People romanticize the idea of a grid down collapse because it is. People romanticize the idea of living off the land, being one with nature, surviving and thriving in a dystopian, landscape. The reality is, unless you are literally a jack of pretty much every trade, or you're connected with people that fill in the gaps that you have, you're not going to make it. And just because you own stuff now doesn't mean it's going to last 5 or 6 years down the road. We talk about vehicles. I've got a bug-out vehicle that has no electronics. That's great. Well, what happens if the grid down lasts for 2 or 3 years? Do you have ample fuel? Do you have replacement parts? Do you have the ability to fix a dry rotted belt? What if your tires go bad? Do you have all of these things? Because if the answer is no, I wouldn't be so upfront about saying that you've got these things, because the reality is if you can't fix what you've got, you don't. The next one we've got is, it's all right. I'm armored. It's good. I'm going to fight. It'll be good. Okay, man. So the fallacy of being in a long, protracted gun battle where you defend your life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and your family is just that. It's a fallacy. You are not going to get into a fight with a superior force that's armed and usually walk away from it unscathed. People are going to get hurt, yourself included. A gunshot wound could be a death sentence from infection. But what's your real plan? The best way to win these is not to get into fights at all. You win every single gunfight you avoid. And it becomes more true here, because the other side of that is, if you start shooting, that's loud. People hear it and they come to where you are, and now you have new problems that you didn't intend to face off against. So the uncomfortable truth of you're just going to patrol with your rifle and you're going to be good to go isn't real. You will not survive multiple engagements, let alone the fact that the taxation on your resources that you did manage to put back if you find yourself getting into protracted gun battles. Because, like most people, you probably needed the stuff you had to survive for to a specific time frame. The next one is, I'm going to bug out. All right, let's be realistic about this. When's the last time anybody you heard say they were going to bug out, put on a bug out bag, and went for any kind of a duration hike? Here's the thing. If you're bugging out and you can only walk 25 miles with what you've got, I hope to God your bug out location's close. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. Also, if you're doubling down on your Big Macs and McChickens every day at McDonald's, but you're not actually doing any physical fitness work to take care of your body, where do you think you're going to go? When's the last time you put on that 100-pound bag that you've got, you call a bug-out bag, and tried to go anywhere with any distance? People have this thing in their mind that a bug-out bag is going to keep you for all this time. It's not. A bug-out bag is literally the stuff you need to get from A to B. And if you bug out, where are you going? What's your plan? Like, did you have a place already? If you don't have a place, you're a refugee, as Such puts it. You're a refugee with stuff. And eventually, somebody's going to take your stuff. You might not believe that's true, but it is true. It's just how it is. Like, the reality of that situation, when you actually look at human nature, where are you going to go? I'm not trying to make you mad. I'm trying to make you think. So, that's number 5 on my list. Number 6 is, it's cool. I've got my guns, okay? Can you fix your gun? Do you have the parts to fix your gun? Dude, I've seen more than one mod deuce in my life shit the bed because headspace and timing was off. I've seen saws go to hell and back because simple maintenance wasn't done or something was wrong. Do you have the parts? Do you have spare bolt carrier groups, gas rings, roll pins? Do you have gas tubes? Do you have another gas block? Do you have an extra barrel if this goes on for a very long time? Do you have the stuff you need to actually maintain what you have? If you don't, you're living in a fantasy world because it's a mechanical object. And it doesn't matter if you spent $7,000 on that mechanical object. Mechanical objects fail. It's what they do. They require user service. And if you don't have the stuff to properly user service that, including cleaning and lubricating, what is your plan? It's an uncomfortable truth to think about the fact that your $7,000 rifle may not be as good as you think it is because you don't actually have the ability to fix it or maintain it. Number 7. I see this one all the time. I've got my plate carrier and my chest rig, and they've got like 15 magazines, 2 med kits, 6 liters of water, crap in the bag, survival kits, all this stuff strapped to this freaking plate carrier, and the plate carrier weighs like 70 fucking pounds. Plus they have a backpack that they're going to take. And then they've got their main rifle, their handgun, a backup rifle, or a precision rifle, or a shotgun for breaching doors. They have all this stuff. Where the hell are you going, man? Like, dude, you're not going. Here's a fun fact when we talk about weight and kit. The heavier your stuff is, the less mobility you have. It is a lot harder to shoot a moving target than it is to shoot somebody that can't move because they're weighed down. Not to mention everything you pile out in front of you over here, including your tactical muffin top. When you go prone, you're higher off the ground, which means you're a better target. So focus on what you actually need. Again, we're not going out to get into protracted gun battles that burn up 300 rounds of ammunition, 10 full mags out of our stuff. And here's the thing. If you're in a fight and you are 7 mags deep in that fight and you have yet to figure out how to get out of that situation, you are going to die. Because if you are surrounded or facing off against a superior force of any kind, your option is not to fight them head on. Your option is to disengage, create space, and then do guerrilla tactics and hit them on the backside, disrupting supply lines, their ability to sleep, making them uncomfortable, whatever it is, so they leave you alone. But you're not going to stand toe-to-toe with a 15-man element and it's just you and your buddy. It's not going to happen. You've got all this stuff attached to your body that's now made you slower, wider, a bigger target that you can't get down on the ground. And if you haven't figured out the simple truth of being in a gunfight, which is if you're overwhelmed and you're going to die, you have to be able to break contact and make space. It's not all about what you got. If you want to carry extra mags, fine, I believe in that. Have them in your backpack. You should be able to ditch a bag and still have kit, but you should also not be so weighted down that with everything on you, you can't at least make effort to get away. The next one. I'm going to bug out to the woods. And we touched on this a second ago. Where are you going exactly? I'm just going to bug out to the national forest. Do you think you're the only person that had that idea? You're going to have lots of neighbors. Just because you think you're alone in your brain doesn't mean you are. Everybody else has already had that. And you have to think one of the most dangerous things about any side of a dystopian thing is actually the people. Animals don't give a shit that we're having a hard time. They could care less. It's just, but where are you going to go? Wherever you're going better have its own security. Maybe you should have more people involved that you can trust. But if you think you're going to grab your stuff and you're going to bug out to your closest national forest, you're going to bug out with about 5,000 other people that had the exact same idea. And it's going to be cute to watch you all trying to survive on the same 1,000 acre plot of land. I'm just going to go hunt. I'm not too worried about food. I've been hunting my whole life. I'll always have fresh game. Wrong. Fallacy. Do you think that everybody else is not going to go hunt and try to kill food? That you're going to be the only person that goes hunting to try to kill food? Wrong. Everybody is going to go hunt to kill food. Even in places like where I live, we have cattle everywhere. People are going to start poaching cattle. And what they're going to do is they'll kill the cattle and they'll leave most of it there after they eat their fill. And it just wastes food. But that's what people will do. Because A, they're dumb and they don't know any better. But everybody's going to go try to do the same thing. Oh, it's shit, I don't have any food. I'm just going to go hunt. You have to think of the reality of this, guys. We are 72 hours away from absolute chaos at any given point. Our entire society functions on a just-in-time delivery system to get groceries to your local grocery store. Our entire economy is based off of the ones and zeros on a computer screen and not on gold or cash money in your hand. If the grid goes down, you now have no money. If the trucks stop coming, your grocery store has no food. Which means if you weren't prepared beforehand, you now have no food. And if you think that you're going to be the only person hitting the woods to go hunt down deer and take out Bambi, you are wrong, my friend. Everybody else is going to do the exact same thing, especially if you live in an area that's rural, that has outdoorsy people. Trust me, you're not the only person that thinks they're going to go hunt to save themselves in this one. And number 10 for me is, I got body armor. I'm good. That's cool. But if you have body armor, that also means that you have to fight somebody else competent enough to just shoot the armor. But not so competent that they shoot you in the face. Body armor's great. Body armor keeps you in the fight. But it's going to break ribs. It's going to break sternum cartilage. It's going to fuck you up to no end getting hit inside of a plate. I don't care how nice your plates are. It's still going to hurt. But your plates are also not exactly good after you take those rounds, and that means that they didn't shoot you in the arm, the leg, the crotch, the stomach, the face, the neck, the knee, the foot. Like, this protects this, which keeps you in the fight right now. And the reason body armor is so good, because we have a very good medical system. Now remove that medical system out of the way, you can die from an infection where you got shot in the arm just as fast as you can die from a tension pneumothorax. It can happen. So all the medical kit in the world is not going to save you if you get an infection you can't treat. Which is why if you're going to be treating and saving stuff, maybe you should learn stuff about herbal medicine, antibiotics, animal antibiotics to adult antibiotics. That's the reality. And I leave you with this point, is good people will do really bad things when their kids are hungry. We do not live in a euphoric utopia of kindness and wellness. The second little Sally down the street's kids are hungry, they're going to start looking for food. And if they know you have it, they are going to come ask. And when you tell them no, because your priority is protecting your family, they're going to come back and try to take it by force. And once that door's been opened, you can't shut it again. People are going to know that you've got stuff worth protecting. And it won't take long when 5 or 6 people around you get hungry enough that they will take you and your stuff away. People are sick, sadistic, evil things. For the most part, the only thing that keeps everyone on this planet in check is the fear of what happens when we do things wrong. And that's true in almost every regard. The reason you don't kill people isn't necessarily because it's illegal. It's also because most of us fear eternal damnation in some kind. At least I do. I'm a God-fearing Christian man. I don't want to go to hell. That just doesn't sound like a good time at all to me. However, if suddenly the constraints were removed from people who already have ill will and intent that would keep them in line, which is that fear of spending the rest of their life in prison, that fear of being stripped of their freedom, that fear of being killed back by the state because you took someone's life, you've now taken away that fear. And for people that are short-sighted and only look 1 month into the future, that's a dangerous proposition when they're already bad to begin with. Your best options, guys, are to have like-minded friends that you can trust. Have a network in place. Have somewhere you can go that only you know about. Have those people involved. Set up a community, because that is going to help you. I hope to God you have skills that you can trade, or old world skills that you can use. And I wish you the best. But the reality is, man, those 10 fallacies we keep in our head is what we're going to do. Everything from the lone wolf prepper to the I got body armor guy to I got 900 guns and 60 different calibers. That's cool, dude. Do you have ammo for all of those things? Also, if we talk about ammo, just a quick thought on that. Shooting is a perishable skill. If you're not training probably twice a month at 100 rounds a time, that also means that you have to find a place to do it that doesn't draw more attention. Another thought. You're talking 2,400 rounds a year just in training. Well, here's the thing. If you've got 100,000 rounds of ammo at your house and everything goes to shit tomorrow, how much ammo can you actually take with you? I mean, if you gave me the option of having 10,000 rounds of 55 grain full metal jacket and having 1,000 rounds or 2,000 rounds of soft point stuff I can use for hunting, defense, whatever, I'm going to pick the latter. I don't care about having 5,000 rounds of full metal jacket if I have more effective rounds and I have to do this shit on foot now. So guys, keep that shit in mind. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Make friends with people that are just like you. Focus on all of the preps, not just the cool ones that you want to do. Get familiar with medicine in some kind so that if push came to shove, you don't die because you broke your toe and you got an infection. Understand you're not going to hunt the way you think you are because everybody else is going to try to do that. You're not just going to go to your closest national forest because you're probably going to have people there you don't want to deal with. And also the reality that most of what keeps people in line in this country is not the fact that jails exist or that there's a moral code. It's the fact that they don't want to actually get into trouble for what they do and go to jail because they're having more fun on the outside. Remove that threat and you have a whole new problem. Remember, good people will do bad things if their kids start getting hungry. And if you're a parent, it's your responsibility first and foremost to make sure your kids don't go hungry and you don't take from other people. So guys, I'm Uncle Freedom. Again, like, subscribe, tell a friend, and until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other. I'll see you later.